different. I want to do something with a little bit of a twist, and this is what I've been able to do.
Well, the Performing Musicians Employers Association of Nigeria has expressed gratitude to the federal government over the release of the first tranche of the copyright levy, describing it as a landmark moment for creators, performers, producers, and the broader creative economy. At a press conference held at PMAN headquarters in Lagos, its president, Priti Okafor, as well as other stakeholders, noted that implementation represents more than a policy announcement, but an institutional signal that Nigeria is prepared to move the creative economy from sentiments to structure. Mr. Okafor, however, expressed that the copyright levy isn't the same as copyright royalties. He also encouraged musicians in Nigeria to take steps to get verified by joining the association, as their interest will be protected. And now the CEO of Musical Copyright Society of Nigeria, Moyo Ayilaro, joins us now to have this discussion. First of all, let me apologize. I think I murdered your name there. Okay. Please tell us about this. Ayilaro, thank you very much.
Yes.
I'm happy you laughed over it. Some people wouldn't.
No.
All right. Tell us about this levy. Is it the musicians that will be paying the levy, or it's some kind of money that will go to the musicians for jobs done, since it is not royalties?
Yes. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
First, I would like to take this opportunity to give kudos to the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, President Ahmed Tinubu, who has finally implemented important law, which has been there since 1988. Several presidents have come and gone without being able to do anything about this. But during his administration, this policy, this law is coming to fruition. There is a levy on materials used in exploiting copyright materials. That is, levy on those materials such as Android phone, flash drive, CDs, computers, anything where you can exploit copyright works, particularly musical works. So it is the levy on those materials that is collected by the relevant government machineries and turned over to the creative industry. It is called, in some climes, it is called private copy, because there are two types of copyright benefits. The ones used in public that we, as a collective management organization, go to license them, collect the money, and distribute to the artists. But this one, many of us, we do recording in our private homes. We share videos, we share music that is not public. But in order to compensate for this private use of material things, this levy comes into force. And it is for the creators, the musicians, the movie makers, even the literary writers who will benefit from this levy. So it is different from the normal royalties where we go to a public place, we license them, we collect the money, like broadcast stations, like hotels, like nightclubs, where we go, we license them annually and they pay. And when they pay, we distribute the royalties therefrom to the musicians. But this one is a levy direct from the revenue collected on materials used to exploit copyright works. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, sir, for that clarification. So now, what would you say is the purpose of this levy? Now, how would this be distributed towards what areas? Where I mean, this is not to be paid to the artist, or if it is, how would they verify their entitlements and then receive their own? Will I call it portion? Should I be expecting some payments myself?
Yes, it is for the purpose of compensating them for the private use of their works. For example, I may be in my room, hear music from Spotify, and download and store in my phone. Such things may not be licensed publicly by the relevant authorities like a CMO, like MCSN. But with Levy, we are able to collect this money indirectly from me, and the money is turned over to the artist at the end of the day. The money, when collected, is shared based on the ratio of your work, because there are people out there who have 100 albums, 100 songs. At the same time, there are people who only have one song in public. You will not expect somebody with one song to collect the same amount with somebody with 100 songs. That is why data is being collected on all creators, and all creators is bound to come forward, write their name, we verify, give us the list of their works, and perhaps with copies of their works, we verify, and from this, we are able to allocate to each of them what we believe is their due. And this can be verified from available, data. So that is how it is done.
I love the fact that you said that they will look at the data to look at the amount of money they will get. Can you be specific this morning? The ratio of what will be given to the artist that will not bring up issue of being siphoned or have been duped from the Copyright Society. And secondly, what are the benefits of registering a copyright?
Yes. First, like I told you, the data that we are going to rely on are verified. And when an artist gets his own share, he has the opportunity to see in relation to others what he has collected. And at the end of the day, he found out that he that has one single work is being fairly treated, as well as the person who has 100 works. Then when you talk of the ratio of what is available to be shared, first, there is what we call administrative costs, which is capped at 30% by law. And this, we will not go beyond. So it means, in essence, not less than 60 or 70% will be going to the artist. So all these are verifiable. All this can be checked. All this will be audited at the end of the day. For example, we have a regulatory agency like the Nigerian Copyright Commission, who will demand accountability of this money. And it is not only MCSN that is involved. We are 3 CMOs in this country. We have audiovisual rights societies. We have the productive rights societies of Nigeria. That's SUPONIC. So all of us, the 3 of us, we are giving our own different allocations. And we are expected to be fair, to be open in dealing with this money. Not only this money, the day-to-day royalties that we collect. We have to be open with how we deal with the money. It is not just money we collect and keep in our pockets. So that is just the way it is done worldwide.
Okay.
And for another angle to it is also that there are international organizations that are like watching how we deal with it, and we are getting consultations from them too. We are relying on their advice, because this is the first time this kind of money is happening in Nigeria. But there are clients where it has been enforced for over 10 years and so on. We need to also learn something, 1 or 2 things from those countries.
Okay.
So it is not something that we just go with the winds.
All right. Some years back, your organization had an agreement with PMAN, concerning data and all that. Is it that data you are going to rely on 100%, or you have other means of collecting data?
Yes, we have our own independent data. First, let me explain. The agreement we have with PMAN is not even about data. It is about representing the copyright interests of their members who are performers. Most members of PMAN are performers whose works have been recorded. And by law, they are to enjoy the benefits of copyrights, particularly the economic benefit of copyright, which is royalties, having a share in the royalties that we collect. Now the levy has been added to it. So performance, PMAN, we enter into government. Rather than PMAN say, hey, we represent performance, give us a license to run our CMO. They now said, no. If we do that, there will be chaos in the industry. People will come out to say there are so many organizations asking for rights in the same musical works. So they believe that will better the lot of musicians, and it will be a kind of one-stop shop for copyright matters. Okay. And that is exactly what has happened. And we know one thing that is certain is that PMAN is like a grassroots organization. They have members where even MCSN may not easily reach. Then these members, when PMAN collects their data, they turn the data to MCSN. Those of them that are not already members of MCSN will now be included in the MCSN bigger data. So agreement with PMAN is not only about collecting data. PMAN has seen an opportunity to reach most of its members, because many of them, they don't care about keeping records even of their works. When you ask some of them, how many works have you done? They will say, I've done many. But to count how many will be difficult. But with this system in place, they are now aware that they must keep records of their works, as that will be the basis of remunerating them. Okay. So that is the essence of our agreement with PMAN. It is not for this purpose alone. This one happens to now come into the front burner because money is now coming out. Money is involved.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, so let's talk. We're talking about, the levy is being distributed to artists who have actually put their work out there now and are being registered and within the data that you have now. Of course, we know that in most cases, it's not only an artist that makes a song. We have producers, we do have writers as well, and others too. So now, will the MCSN now ensure that these other people that play a part in the production of a settled record be settled as well, or will the artist just be given the chunk of the money to sort the others that were part of the system of making the song out? Another question will be, when it comes to distribution of funds, to be very honest, I think there's a reputation in Nigeria where it just seems like there are a lot of like loopholes here and there, and there may be a lot of things that are not necessarily straightforward going on. Now, within your system, now is there a structure that will be put in place to ensure that these monies go out to the people they are meant to go out to, and then it won't be a situation of, you want to collect this money, you will drop this percentage to, and all of that. So is there a system that will put, and of course also sanctions in case perpetrators are caught?
Thank you so much. First, I have to clarify that there are about 6 classes of people that will benefit from this money, not only the artists. In our own industry, we call them the composers, the authors, the publishers, the performers, and the producers, who happens to be the label owners. All these people will benefit from the money. And they all are benefiting from the royalties that we collect routinely from our business. So it is not only meant for the musicians or the artists, it is meant for people that I have mentioned. That is authors, composers, publishers, performers, and producers. Then the system of distribution. Thank God, this is not the first time we are distributing money or royalties. We have been doing that way back, even since 1988. though it comes in trickles, in small amounts, but now it is becoming bigger and bigger. So there are systems in place that ensure equitable distribution of money. In those days, yes, we used the best of our judgment, our opinion. Oh, this work is popular, so for that, we get this or we get that. But today, most of these things are data-driven. So we have data to support. If you are getting 10 naira, there is data to support being paid that amount of money. And it's so good that most of these artists you see, we don't see them physically. You can't see them physically in our office to come and get money. People sit in the comfort of their home and they receive alerts regularly. So there is nobody cutting from their money. There is no shortcut of, hey, please take this amount so that I'll be able to receive that amount. No. I have said earlier on that there is a cap for administrative costs, which is presently around 30%. And we hope to drive this down as we get bigger and we get along. Because at the end of the day, we are aiming at operating at around 10%. So these are the things that we have in mind in the future. Because we believe that with the huge market which Nigeria is, the volume of income that will come will not need much of it going into costs. So we are looking at those possibilities in the near future. It is because we are like a startup company, which consumes quite a lot of capital in terms of human resources, material resources. For example, we are still not in many cities that we should be present in, we should have offices in.
Absolutely.
All this needed to be, all this needed to be taken care of.
Yes.
But we won't say because we have huge amount of money in Levy, we will use that money for that. No, we will still get the musicians to be, eating the fruit of their labor, while steadily we'll be going on the other side of stabilizing the cost of adding to our capacity and so on and so forth.
All right, so let me quickly chip in this. Well, we hope to have you anytime soon so that you can answer some of these questions again. Because I love the fact that some artists will sit at home and they will just be receiving alerts because of their job.
It has been happening.
Well, absolutely.
Even last December, a lot of them, during or shortly before Christmas, they were charged.
Okay.
They were receiving alerts.
Good one there. You didn't answer my question on benefits of registering for copyright, but that is one.
I've said it.
That is one. What are the penalties for infringement on copyright? You didn't say anything on this since. Can we just quickly get your reaction on this?
Thank you. Yes, the benefit of copyright from our own side is the economic benefits. That is, you are expected to pay, to receive money when your work is publicly used. So you are expected to be accorded recognition along with your work. So these are the major things of the benefit of copyright. Then from our kind of organization, we save the individual artist the horror of having to personally go about to get his rights, and which he cannot do in any case.
Any penalty?
For example,
in 30 seconds, if you can answer that.
Yes, penalty, there are two ways. You can be fined in court and you can be imprisoned. If you infringe copyright and you do not have a license or a permission to use the work of the artist that you are using, you can be taken to court. The cost that you will pay will be higher than what you have normally paid. And the court, after finding you, may send you to prison for 5 years.
Oh,
yes.
Wow.
So there are fines and there are imprisonments.
Absolutely.
That goes with copyright infringement.
It's a fine place to leave it, and it's a lesson even to media organizations that you cannot just pick any musical video and just play without paying the copyright. CEO of the Musical Copyright Society of Nigeria, Mayo Ayilano, thank you so much for joining us on TVC Breakfast Saturday.
It's a pleasure. Good morning.
All right.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you very much, gentlemen. You can't just pick any video at any time and just slam.
Yeah.
You have to pay for copyright.
Yeah, it's very important. And
Very,
my
important.
issue is still the monies and the distribution and the loopholes in the system of the MCSN to ensure that the monies actually do go to the artists without any...
But you said that these people are receiving their money without coming to the office.
Yes, and for me, it looks as if them and Kosan are doing almost the same thing, you know. So are we not going to have some duplicity? Maybe there are issues about both of them that I do not understand.
Absolutely. Well, we'll bring you anytime soon so that you can explain all these issues or the lacunas that we're having in copyright. We'll take a break at the moment, and when we come back from the break, it's time to talk sports. Do not go anywhere. We'll be right back.